So, hello guys. From the perspective of the teacher on the IT courses, I want to tell you some moments and tips on how to get well on your IT interview and job search in order to get the better offer and to utilize your maximum of your capabilities. So let's proceed. So the first one, I want to show you that currently we have the employers market instead of the candidates. And what does this mean exactly? So on this graph, which is shown on the data at C#.net job market, and the level of experience set to maximum of 1 year, so it can be either trainee or junior. We see just two possibilities and more than 1,000 of candidates. So that means that on the initial stage you will be facing just 1 to 100 of the candidates per one place. So, and that's true, that's reality, but let's figure out how we can get on it. So, what are the key aspects of your success? So the first one is the information about you. While we have the market of the employer, that means that currently it's just your interest, not the recruiters, in terms of finding the offer. So, and you have to show all your best on the public. So, and what are the key aspects of this? So the first one is the LinkedIn profile. So LinkedIn profile is your, how to say, the public portfolio in terms of the recruiter, and it contains both your personal information, it contains your working experience, your skills, your IT courses, and so on. So that's a great possibility for you, both for you and recruiter, to communicate with each other, but obviously it needs to be filled properly up to 100 and more percent. And of course it's the initial one. So the next thing is the CV in the PDF format. So anyways, we need that because not on the initial stage, but on the stage maybe after the initial speaking with the recruiter, the CV in this format is required to be sent maybe to customer or to the other company specialists for the further investigation. So, and this one should be done not in the regular way, like fill the LinkedIn profile and just click the export to PDF. But it has to be done by hand. So, including all the required information, all the details, all the work experience, and so on. And you should be simple and straightforward in its formatting. So no need to include some uncommon designs, maybe font colors, and so on. So that's not suitable for this case. So better if it would be just simple and straightforward. So the next one is your portfolio. So in terms of development of C#.net, I mean the GitHub, maybe one, maybe two repositories, which should be available in public. Because if the repository is, for example, a private one, you will need to give the access for all to all people who will observe it. So, for example, it can be the technical specialist from the company to which you are sending your CV. Either it can be the recruiter with technical background and so on. So better if your portfolio will be in the public access mode. So, and the last tip, but it's the maybe optional one, but still it's a tip. there is a possibility to create your own CV in the website format with all the needed information, and both with applying your skills of the web, maybe not design, but the simple web development on the front end. So, for example, both HTML, CSS, and JavaScript could be applied there, and this possibility is currently can be covered by the GitHub Pages service, which allows us to host the static website at no cost and with the fast time of the changes to deploy. So that's a great possibility, and sure, I'm recommending it. So the next one is English. So English is a mandatory skill for almost every job on the IT market, and we should consider the two aspects of this. So the first one is the screening stage. So the initial stage when, for example, you have not talked to the recruiter previously, and it's just about seeing your CV and so on. So the field of the level of English is obligatory in each CV, and better if it would be proven by any kind of certificate, because for example, every person could specify that he or she is native in English, lived some time maybe abroad and so on, but without any proof, this information could be considered as not trustworthy. So, and that's a bad case. So personally, I recommend you to use just the if set service, which allows us to complete the initial 15-minute length test of the initial English, and the full test, which is just 50 minutes of the time, and after that you will get a valid certificate, which you will be able to include both to your LinkedIn profile and to your CV. And the next moment is about just the interview. So the most of the interviews do not contain any kind of grammar tests, maybe some cases with times in English and so on. So the IT interview usually consists of the talk, maybe a 5 or 10 minutes duration with either recruiter or the English teacher, and the main skills which you will show there. The first one is listening. So when you are able to listen to your to the person on the other side with care, and get these things right and quickly respond to the questions they are asking. The second one is speaking. So how you are able to bring your thoughts in the most quick and straightforward way, which should be understood by the listener. And the third one is vocabulary. So vocabulary, I mean not the thing which probably you have learned at school, like on every topic and so on. So the vocabulary is the specialty specific. So for the developers, it could be some one set of the unique terms and phrases, and for designer or the project manager, it could be the complete another set. So these three key points are obligatory when we are talking about the IT interview. The next one is about the tech skills. So the tech skills is a thing which you are including both to your CV and to LinkedIn, but there is a moment with those of these skills which you unfortunately have not practiced in the production. So I mean on the production grade project and in any kind of company. So maybe these could be either skills that you have learned maybe on YouTube or some courses and so on, or it can be a set of skills which you have learned for your first job on the IT courses, but in both cases you do not have any kind of proof in your skills. So, and that's not a good case, because without any kind of proof, the recruiter also could consider that you are overestimating your value on the market. So I suggest you, if you have this situation on certain skills, it could be, for example, in my case, it could be some cloud technologies like Azure or AWS, or it can be some front-end technologies like Angular and React. So the better way to resolve this is to attend and to complete any kind of trustworthy courses, obtain the certificate, and then include the certificate or certificates just as a proof of your time spent and on your knowledge level. So this could be any kind of courses like LinkedIn Learning, but personally I would not consider it as a best option, because these courses are not because these courses are short in time, so maybe up to 4 hours. The better option is Udemy, which offers both relatively small courses like 8 or up to 20 hours, but usually these courses have duration of 30 or 40 or 50, maybe in some cases hours. So, and that's a completely valid duration of the course on a certain technology, and after completing this course you will get a certificate of the completion. And that will be a valid proof of your time and effort spent on learning. So that's a better option. The next one is the theory. So some time ago, when personally I have applied to the trainee position, I have spent some interviews with no offer, just because of the theory. Because it's not enough if you know just some practical aspects. Maybe you're able to build your own website in C#, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and SQL on the backend. Because if you do not know the theory, you probably will not pass the IT interview. And the theory is mandatory on every level. So starting from trainee, junior, especially, and just to the senior and architect ones. And the second key point, that on the beginner levels, when for example the interviewers have up to 100 candidates on this position, they obviously will ask the most complicated and maybe the most difficult questions in technologies which could not be used on the production at all, but they need a way how to separate the better candidates from the less experienced ones, and this could be the way they will do that. So please consider that, and the theory is the mandatory thing for the successful interview and job offer. So, and also the interview moment. So when you have made your great CV, when you had a talk with the recruiter, when you have scheduled the interview and you are preparing to it, please consider these 3 moments. So the first one is probably to check your environment and your hardware before the IT interview, because there could be some moments, for example, the web camera doesn't work, the microphone doesn't connect, the headphones are not connected via Bluetooth, either the Wi-Fi router has unexpectedly broken down, and so on, or you have pets and they can distract you from the conversation with the recruiter. So all these moments should be taken into account. The next one is to be in a good shape and mood, because if, for example, you had a party you had a party yesterday, you have not slept well, and so on, or you have a bad mood because of some conditions and so on. So these things should not be reflected on your speech with the recruiter, because it could make a negative impression on you, despite of that you are a great specialist. So, and that's not a good case. And the last one is just to be honest and confident. So what do I mean under that? So honest, I mean that you should not overestimate your skills, your market value, and so on, because these things could be easily researched both by recruiters and tech specialists, and that would result in both no offer and maybe some other not positive results at the end of the interview. And to be confident, it is meant that you have to be confident in what you know, what is your experience, and what are your compensation expectations. So just if you have done everything in the proper way, so you should be also confident in what are you doing now. So that's it. And the moment about the compensation. So the last one, and and sometimes this moment is the important one. So just one advice. So, and better if it would be done before the interview. So please research the job market and the current compensation values in terms of your experience, your skills, your position, and so on. So saying simply, how much should the person with your experience and your skills receive due to the current statistic? So the first one, and the second one, you should predict which salary ranges are expected for this or that offer, for this or that job proposition, because it can vary by company, by maybe some conditions in the description, and so on. So these two things should be both synced over just before the interview, not in the process. And when you're asked something like name your preferred compensation or name your minimal amount and so on, so what compensation do you want? So you should name exactly one number, so not any kind of range, not something like I want the compensation of some value, but if there will be some curriculum stances and there will be a high demand on this position and so on, so I agree to the less amount. So this is a very bad case, because if you will not get the offer, you will not get the offer. So it's not the question of the bargain. But if you say something like that, so you will receive just the minimal value which you have named in your job offer. So if you succeed, so and this probably would be a very bad case. That's why I'm strictly recommending to name just one value. So, and this value should be well synced by you. So not like I like that number or maybe other number, so on. So the value should be strictly up to the market and to your exactly market value. So that's it. So probably these advices would be helpful for you, and both for preparing to the preparing your CV and preparing to the IT interview, and both for passing it. So if you have any ideas or comments, please message me. I'm really open for discussion. And see you. Thanks for watching. Bye.